Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? You can just put a thumbs up or write in the chat. Yeah, okay, great. So we'll wait because I can see people are continuously joining and it's not yet time. Let's wait for a few more minutes and then we can start the class. Okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, people are still joining. So I'll wait for 2 more minutes and then I will start the class. Okay? And still, okay. Okay, let me slowly start introducing the class and then people can continue joining in the meantime. People are joining. So again, I hope everyone can hear me fine. If there's any issue at any point of internet or something, please let me know in the chat. So, hi everyone, good evening. Thanks for joining on this Monday evening. So, let me just introduce what these sessions are going to be. So, I'm just going to share my screen. Can you all see my screen? Let me just. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, good evening everyone. My name is Xenia. I am a PhD student and Prime Minister's Research Fellow at the Indian Institute of Science, and I will be conducting these weekly sessions for you. And these are problem solving sessions or live sessions where we can discuss various aspects of your course, The Joy of Computing Using Python. So you already have all this course materials and lecture materials that are with you, which are pre-recorded videos. The purpose of these sessions is that every week you have an opportunity to solve and refresh, do a revision of the concepts of every week and to solve some problems. And not in this session, but next session onwards, we'll also be doing some programs which will be related to your weekly assignment, but not exactly the questions of your weekly assignment. So, weekly assignment you're supposed to do on your own. We'll be doing some questions which are very much similar to those questions so that you can have that chance to so that you can have a benefit of the class. So again, the classes that you're attending are pre-recorded sessions. So this is an opportunity for you to have a live session. So if you have any doubts from throughout the week, you can bring them up in this session, and we can discuss it as well. So this is my email ID. And this is there in the slides, and you can mail me at any point, and for any of the clarification, I will prefer if you mail me a little ahead of the week's class so that whatever doubt you have, we can all discuss together in these live sessions. Is there a question? If, if you don't have a question, please keep yourself muted, okay? Otherwise, there's an echo. So it might be disturbing for everyone. Okay, uh, I'm just going to mute this person. If you have a question, feel free to unmute and speak up. But if you don't have a question, please keep yourself muted so that it doesn't cause any echo or disturbance in between the class. Okay, so someone is asking where do we find the lectures? I just enrolled 2 days ago. Just go to the course page. The course page has all the week's materials. I think up to week 2 should be uh, upload available to you now. So some logistical details. These sessions are going to be recorded and they will be uploaded on YouTube. So the links for that will be provided to you. And apart from that, I have this page on my website. So if I just click here, so this is my website. This is the page. I'll put the URL in the chat now and also at the end of the class. So basically you can see that all the information, this is a course page. For example, this is your course, and someone was asking where are the materials. So this is all the materials of the week. You can see week 2 is also available, and then you can see meeting link. Since this is the first session, I have not really uploaded the slides or the YouTube links yet. I will do that after this session. So after the session, you can by tonight or maybe by tomorrow, you can check this page and all the links will be available for the recording of the video as well as the slides of the session. And this will be done every week. Okay, so I will just paste this in the chat now and I will paste it at the end of the meeting and you guys can save this URL. That will help you to, so sorry. Yeah, that will help you to find the lectures later. Okay, is that clear to everybody? Because this is the question that everyone keeps asking is where to find the lectures and where to find the slides. So all the slides, all the lectures are being recorded and they will be made available to you. Just save my page. I will show you again at the end of the class and you can find the lectures there as well. And apart from that, the NPTEL team will also be sharing the links with you as well. Okay, so every Monday from 6 to 8, this session is going to happen where we are going to solve problems related to your lectures, and the sessions, slides, programs, video lectures, everything will be available. And I have maintained the links on my website. So you can check it at your leisure. Okay, so anyway, so, as I said, the purpose of these sessions is for us to refresh the week's lectures and also to solve some problems which are related to your assignment but not exactly your assignment questions. If you have any particular questions or particular things that you want to discuss in a class, I would encourage you to mail me. So, this is my mail ID. I'll just copy. One sec. I'll just copy paste that also in the chat. You can mail me for any clarifications throughout the week. And if your doubt is if you mail me if you mail me The URL has already been shared in the chat. Please go and check. I will also share it again. Okay, great. So, this is my mail ID. You can mail me with any, if you have some particular topic to be discussed in the live sessions, you can mail me for that. And then if you mail me, like, please mail me a few days in advance. The sessions are on Mondays, to please mail me by Thursday or something. Then I can include that in the next week's lectures. So these are live sessions. So please take advantage of that. The fact that you can ask questions, you can ask for some particular topic to be covered, all those things. Do not mail me asking for answers to the assignment questions. The assignment questions are made for you to solve them. Okay. So please, this has happened to me before in in these courses. So I'm telling this at the start of the course. Do not mail me asking me how to solve this assignment, how to solve that assignment. These problem solving sessions are for you to get some idea of how to solve the assignment, but until you sit and solve problems yourself, it will not be helpful to you. There's no use of taking a programming course if you're not going to do the questions yourself. Okay. So this is about all of these things. Okay, fine. So this is all the logistic things. So I'll share the links again at the end of the class. In between, please don't keep asking about recording and session and all those things. It will be made available to you. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll share the links again towards the end of the class. So this is going to be just the introductory week one material. So there won't be any programming part today. But in general, these sessions will have both solving questions, like your assignment questions, and programming. And the way, so this is the third time I'm taking a Python course like this. And the way that I have found is most effective to teach programming is to give you time in this live session to solve the problem yourself and then share the answer in the chat. Okay, so it only works properly if you guys are interactive. So please feel free to be interactive. As I said, these sessions are live sessions which are designed for you to interact and get your doubts cleared on the spot, so that every week, you have an opportunity or a window where you do sit and do the programming yourself. Because programming is like riding a bicycle. Okay, if you want to ride a bicycle, you can't ride a bicycle by watching movies on how to ride a bicycle. You can't ride a bicycle by reading books on how to ride a bicycle. You can't ride a bicycle by watching other people ride bicycles, right? You have to sit, ride the cycle yourself. You have to fall down once or twice. Then only you will get the idea of how to ride a cycle. The same way, you cannot learn programming by watching someone write a code or by reading a book about a code. Although it helps, these things can help, but unless and until you sit down and you write the coding, you try to write a program yourself, you will not be able to do programming. So one very important part, or the one way to make the most of taking this very nice course, a very nice course, it's a 12-week course which has covered almost all of the very important parts of Python, and also some very interesting sub specific cases also. The best way to make use of all of this is to try to always, whenever you come across any concept or any program, try to do it yourself without looking at the program. Try to understand the logic yourself and try to understand it yourself. Okay, so this is the idea, and this session is for you to exactly have a practice for programming and problem solving, so it helps your assignment. Please mute unless you have a doubt. If you have a doubt, you can do this. Okay, so I'm just checking the chat. Classes are only on Monday. Yes, this will be the slot every Monday from 6 to 8. In case I am having some prior commitment, I will let you know. But the regular slot is 6 to 8. So it will be once a week, 6 to 8 will be the session. Is this lecture a good prerequisite for learning machine learning? I will not be discussing machine learning. If you mean if this course is a good prerequisite, I would say that programming in general is very broad and you can apply it to whatever concept you want. Uh, is there a question? If there's not a question, I'm muting you because of the echo. Okay. If there's, okay, someone has a hand raised. Is there a question? Okay. If you have any questions, please, at any point during the lecture, feel free to stop me. Just unmute and you can ask your question. Or if you feel more comfortable to write in the chat, that's also fine. So, about the machine learning question, I would say that you need to, you can, this course is going to give you the basics of programming. It's up to you to apply it to different parts. Okay, so again, programming is a skill. It's like learning cooking, right? Once you know the basics of cooking, it's up to you that which dishes you want to try and which dishes you want to customize according to your taste. Okay, so we will do that. The first class is today, so today we will be discussing the week 1 lectures. And are we provided with the answer keys at the end of assignment? I think they are provided. I'm not very sure about this. I am an external person who is there for this problem solving session. So if you have any questions about the assignment or submission or those things, exam, those kinds of things, please ask it in the discussion forum of the course. Okay, how to prepare for exam and get minimum marks for certificate. So one advice I will give, which is not only about this course but any course like this which you will do, is please do not enroll in courses for certificates, and especially don't enroll in courses just to get some minimum marks. Okay, certificate will come and go, exam will come and go, it's just 1 3 hours and there are many factors. But the main thing is to try to get the information that you can apply to other things. Yes, this is the first class. So I think, yeah, we have had some introductory talk now. We can somewhat move to the uh, class. The class schedule is going to be these live sessions. If you're asking about the live sessions will be between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. every Monday for the next 12 weeks. Okay. Okay, so if you guys have, I think that's enough for now. We can take more questions about the course at the end, and then we can discuss later. Okay, so as I said, since today is the first class, we'll be discussing the week 1 lectures. Week 1 lectures are very general. If you recap, you have seen what is programming, what is programming logic, and these two are kind of different, how we can approach coding, what are some different programming languages, and then you also saw this scratch interface by which you were able to implement some simple programming logic. So as I said, one important uh, the video will be available, as I said in the beginning. I'll share the links at the end. Okay, don't I hope that is fine. I already had shared all the information in the beginning. I'll share the information about video recording and other things again. I'll repeat at the end, but let's move to the discussion now. I request that if you are not having a doubt, to please mute yourself, because otherwise it will cause a echo. Okay. Okay, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, I'm just muting. If you have a doubt, please feel free to unmute and ask, but I'm just muting now. Okay. Uh, Fine. So as I said, this is the week 1 lecture. So this is a recap of your week 1 lectures, which you might have already seen or accessed in the class. If you haven't, don't worry. You can go back and see it after the class. But the point is that these are the different topics that were discussed in the week 1, right? There was introduction to program. Is there a question? Okay, I don't think so. Fine. Sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry, I keep getting this sound. I feel like, is there a question or not? I'm not able to understand. Okay, so right. So one very important, as I said, the way to think about programming is, as I said, it's a skill. First of all, it's like riding a cycle. You will not learn programming by reading books or watching other people do programming. You have to do it yourself, right? So that is one very important part, and that's why it is
చాలా విన్నాం జాయిన్ అయ్యేది దీన్ని కాసేపు
people, please mute yourself if you're not talking, because it is very disturbing. Okay, not only for me but for all of us, because there are 400 people in the meeting. Even if one person unmutes, it disturbs the other 399 people. Okay, I'm being very serious about this. Okay, please have some basic courtesy when you're in a meeting. Okay, so as I said, programming is such a skill that you have to do it yourself, right? You can't learn programming by watching people do programming, by simply watching lectures. So this is the opportunity. That's why this 2 weeks is this 2 hour class every week is so important, because it gives you a lifetime to do programming and try the programs yourself. Apart from that, I wouldn't say that you should only do programming in this 2 hours. You should definitely, as you're watching the lectures, always have your laptop open. Always, whenever you come across any new concept in the code, try to put it or implement it yourself, even the most simplest thing. This will really help you to build your skill properly. Okay, so there are two things. One is programming and the other is programming logic. Okay, whereas why do we do programming, right? We do programming to make our life easier. Suppose I ask you to print the numbers from 1 to 100, right? Why will I ask a computer to do it? I can sit and write the numbers from 1 to 100, right? I can sit and do that. It will take me maybe 2 minutes to do it. But suppose I asked you to write the numbers from 1 to 10,000. Now that's going to take you way more time. Whereas for a computer, it will not even take a matter of seconds to do the same task. And this is why programming is so powerful. But what you need to understand is the computer does not have any Okay, I'm just going to disable the mic for everyone. I'm sorry about this, but please don't interrupt the call. If you have a doubt, you can write it in the chat. Okay. Yeah, because people keep unmuting, it's really disturbing. So I'm just disabling the mic for everyone. Okay. Great. So, right. So I can already see that people are saying using loops and spider. Okay, on laptop, which application platform is available for Python programming? Let's come back to that. But good that people are saying about loops. So I was talking about this question of, if I want to write 1 to 100, that's easy. 1 to 10,000 going to take me, definitely it will take me some time, even if I write very fast. But for a computer, it will not even take seconds. But again, the computer does not have the logic. You as the programmer have the logic. So what is programming? Programming is us as human being having the logic and giving the instructions to the computer. Now there are many ways to tell the computer to print 1 to 1000, right? I can write print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4. That's not going to help us at all, right? What is the difference between writing 10,000 print statements and just writing it in pen and paper? That's where I have to use something like a loop, which, if any of you don't know what a loop is, don't worry, you'll be learning it in this course, or I'll be using some other clever techniques by which the job should be easier. Ultimately, the reason to do programming is to make our life easier, not harder. So we have to have the logic by which, when you look at a program or when you look at a problem statement, you should have the foresight to see how can I simplify this program into a set of instructions to give a computer, because that's what a program is. A program is simply a set of instructions that I provide to a computer, right? So that you can do it. Okay. Anyway, so this is about programming and programming logic. So programming is one thing, but programming logic is even more important, because programming logic is what tells you how to give the instructions to the computer in the first place. So there are many different programming languages. The programming logic does not change between languages, right? It's just like different languages that we have in the world, right? We have so many different languages. The same idea may be expressed in different languages. If you express in English or Hindi or French or something like that, the idea may be the same, but the grammar, the words that we use may be different. The same thing applies for programming. So once you learn programming logic, it's very easy to apply to any programming language. In this case, you'll be applying to Python, but tomorrow, if you want to learn, say, C++ or something else, then remember that the logic does not change. It is only the words or the syntax or the format which changes. Okay, so with this information, let's look at some introductory stuff about programming, just so that you get an idea. Okay, so first of all, this is my favorite quote about programming. which is that a good programmer looks both ways before crossing a one-way street. As a programmer, remember you are the one who is giving instructions to the laptop. So you should think about every situation before giving the instructions to the laptop or the computer or the processor or whatever it is, right? Because you have to make sure your logic is extremely accurate, and then only you can prepare the programming or the instructions to be given to the computer, which is called a program, so that the computer can follow it to perform a task. So for example, 1 to 10,000, as I said, I can do it in a very stupid way, which is to write print 1, print 2, print 3, at which point I'm just doing the same thing that I do with pen and paper. Or I can use the fact that this is a computer. The computer can do repeated things very easily using some shortcuts, and I can use my logic and apply those shortcuts so that I get an efficient program. So actually, this 1 to 10,000 program, I'll be able to write in just 2 lines if I am smart about it. So this is the way that you have to do. Okay, fine. So, why only loops, not recursive function? No one said it's only loops. I'm just checking the chat. So don't worry about Python, Python environment, PyCharm, Anaconda, Idle. Okay, these are all just words. The important thing is Python, whatever way you're comfortable with, you can use it. You can use it online interpreter if you want, Anaconda, VS Code, anything that you want. Okay, you don't have to stick to anything particularly. One very important thing and one very great thing about learning Python as your first language is the fact that it's a very flexible language, and that is the that gives you a lot of power. And that's why it's good to learn, because Python is so flexible, you can really focus on the logic part of it and understand the logic, and then you can move to more complex languages as well. So this is basically a comic that shows that programmers really have to overthink things sometimes. So here you can see that this person is locked out, and instead of just trying the doorbell, they have tried all these different complicated ways. So you shouldn't also overthink a program. That's just what this comic is showing. So basically, this is how computers have evolved over time. The very first computer that we can call is the abacus, which you are all familiar with, where calculations were automated using these beads and other things. And then in the 1800s, you have computers which were invented, which were like difference machines. After that, you have electric computers, email. Then then it comes to the computer that we are familiar with, the desktop with the keyboard and everything coming to our houses. Then in the 1980s and 90s is when really the internet and the interconnectedness really comes into, right? So these is just to give you some context of how programming and how computer science has evolved over the years. So one thing is that the first computers were actually people. So as I said in the beginning, I'm an astrophysicist, so I use examples from astrophysics a lot. This is a group of women who are called the Harvard computers. So back in the day when telescopes used to observe data, they didn't have computers to save the data in pictures like we do today. They actually used to save them on photographic plates, and people had to analyze these photographic plates by their eyes. And these were the women who did it. They're called the Harvard computers. And as you can see, the first computers were actually people. Nowadays, of course, we have very sophisticated systems to scan the photographic plates and all those things, but it's a good idea to remember where this comes from. So again, remember, when a computer or a calculation cannot be done without the logic, so you always need that human aspect of the logic in order to get anything done. Okay. Okay, I don't think there's any important question. Okay, I already know basics of C, and I'm going to use multiple languages alongside this code. So will learning Python affect me, as the syntax in Python is pretty easy? I don't know what you mean by affect. As I said, programming language and programming logic are two different things. Programming logic is the idea, and that is common for any language. Learning a language is like learning, again, as I said, the idea can be the same in different languages, right? The same concept of water may have different words for water in each language, but the water remains the same. Similarly, the logic of the program remains the same. It's just how you write it that changes. So if you already know C, that means you already know programming logic. So you just need to learn the language. That's not a problem. Why do we have various languages instead of one? Very good question. Because certain languages are better for certain applications. Python is very simple, but Python can be very slow when it comes to certain applications, in which case C or Fortran may be useful, and so on, right? Some languages are better for certain applications. That's just how it is. Okay, fine. So, can I in the future create my own language? Yes, sure, go for it. Who's stopping you? Okay. So, some history. So, this is actually, if anyone knows who this is actually Ada Lovelace. She's considered, okay, one sec. Sorry. Sorry, some issue. Okay, so this is Ada Lovelace. She's considered by many to be the first computer programming. She was the one who realized how you can break up a problem, any problem statement, into a system of simple instructions, which is again a program to perform a complex calculation. So remember that programming in the beginning did not really look like the computer programming we are used to today. So I'm not playing this video, but you can watch it in your own time. The slides will be shared with you, but it's a really interesting thing of how in the early days programming used to mean like having these punch cards and you had to feed them into, you might have seen it in your school days also, which is that in the olden days computers were actually huge objects which filled up entire rooms. And even before that there was this concept of a computer and programming in its own way. Today of course everything is digital and done with various assembly languages and binary systems and so on, but before it was very much analog in the form of punch cards. I just think this is a cool piece of history that you can have. Mm, anything else? Any questions? Uh, okay. I'll talk more slowly if that is an issue. I'm sorry about that. Other questions will be coming to slowly. Okay, fine. Let's just skip this for now. Okay. Yeah. So this is a rough timeline. Sorry if I'm talking a little fast, by the way. I'll slow down a bit. The rough timeline of how different languages have been introduced. So you can see that Python was introduced in the 1990s. We have, COBOL and all these Fortran, these older programming languages. C is from the 70s, C++ in the 80s, and over time we have also newer programming languages. So someone asked, why do we need so many different programming languages? The simple answer is that different programming languages do implement programs in different ways. Python is something called an interpreter language, and if you don't understand what that means, that's fine. But the basic thing is Python compiles and interprets programs on the spot, and that makes it very useful for dynamic programming, but it can make it also very slow. So for bigger applications sometimes people prefer things like C and Fortran. Okay, since everyone is muted, I have to check the um cases here. Okay, so today we will learn programming, or just today we will learn some basics. Programs will be there in the week 2 syllabus. So today I am just recapping the week 1 class and doing some problems related to the week 1 assignment. Okay. Okay, fine. We have a lot of programming languages. Will the syntax differ or is it same for all? Obviously, it is different for different languages, similar to how English and French have different grammar. Similarly, each programming language has different language as well. Okay, fine. I think C sharp is a language, you don't have to worry about it. Can we do the same thing or solve the same problem using different programming language? Yes, of course, but this is a course where we'll be studying Python. Okay. C and Python programming are not the same. Remember, I told you programming logic is one thing, programming language is another thing. Logic is just how to solve the program, right? But once you have how, you have to communicate it to the to the computer. To communicate to the computer you need a language, right? Just like how I need to talk to you, I need a language, I'm using English. Similarly, for me to talk to the computer, I have to use a language, that is Python in this case. It can also be C, Fortran, or anything else. Okay, great. I think there are no other questions. Fine. um Okay, so we already looked at some programming languages. These are some of the common programming languages that people talk about. And of course, as I said, and as you know, this course is going to be centered around Python. So, what is Python? Python is a high level general purpose programming language. One of the very core tenets of Python is that it emphasizes code readability. So, readability means just by looking at the code you will get a good idea of what Python is like. And this is a very important factor, which especially if you're just starting out programming, if you just compare a Python code with something like a C or a Java code, you will see the exact difference between how Python and how something like C is written, because not many grammatical things are there, syntactical things are there. They use significant indentation. So here indentation means use of spacing. Okay, in Python, spacing is very important. If you don't put correct spacing, the program will not run properly. So you have to always be careful about that. And that you will learn as you do more programs. So again, the only way to get used to all this is by writing your own programs. So please make sure that whenever you come across any concept, or at least in these classes, make sure that you have, in this class you won't need it, but next class onwards we are going to be doing programming during the classes. So make sure you join with a laptop or any device, or a computer, desktop, whatever device you have that can run Python programs, because the way to get the most out of this course is if you write the programs yourself. Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay, fine. I don't think there are any questions. So this is a slide that is from Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum is actually the creator of Python. So why Python? So someone was asking why Python was needed. Well, the main thing is you can have your cake and eat it too, because you have a productive and readable code, in the sense that Python is an efficient code, but it's also a very readable code. As I said, it's easy for people who are not much used to programming to very easily pick up programming when they use Python. You don't have to worry about this. The last point is life's better without braces. So this is a point that you will appreciate if any of you have done any C or C++. You know that one of the more painful part about C or C++ is the fact that you have all these braces or curly brackets that you have to include every time you write a code. And this is exactly what a Python gets rid of. Python does not have brackets or semicolons or anything like that. So that gives you more flexibility in terms of programming. Okay. Okay, great. So this is a video that just shows some of the important features of Python in 100 seconds. I'm going to not play this. Again, the slides will be shared with you so you can watch this in your own leisure time. A high level. Okay, sorry. Let's just go to the next slide. Okay, so before we move to the questions, as I said, I'm an astrophysicist. So you might be thinking, why is an astrophysicist teaching us programming? But here's the thing, right? Today's world, programming is used in any field that you think about. Basically, whatever field you can think about, there is a way to include not astrophysics, include coding as part of it, right? So as an astrophysicist, coding goes into every part of my daily research. And in fact, I use Python every day in my research. So where do I use Python programming personally? I do numerical calculations when analytical solutions or integrations are not readily available, or if I'm feeling lazy. For example, as I said, one of the important things when I spoke about the Harvard computers as well is that today we have large amounts of telescopes which give us huge amounts of data, and we need to be able to process this data, reduce this data which comes from various missions and observations. For that, you use programming in various forms in order to analyze, store, and really understand the data that is coming from our various telescopes. Whenever we do a calculation, we like to visualize our results through graphs and plots. And this is something where I use my code as well. So these are just some of the ways in which I use programming. I'm sure that all of you here are from various backgrounds. And what I want to tell you is that whatever application you can think of, programming will help you. I saw already people are asking about, oh, I have interest in this specific field or that specific field. That's great. But first you need to know the basics. Once you know the basics, you can apply it to whatever is your field of interest, whatever is your interesting problem statement. But again, first you need to learn the basics, so you are in the correct course for that. So this course, as I said, is for you to learn. It's like cooking, right? You learn some basic skills. After that, you once you know how to use the spices, how to turn on the stove, how to make some basic dishes, you can then put your own spin on it. You can then start to cook your own favorite dishes, right? So that's the way that you can think about programming. It's a skill that will help you to achieve various things in your life. Okay, so this is just a very uh, basic thing. So I can see some questions about the classes. So before we move to the questions, let me just once again say, okay, ma'am, I'm from mechanical engineering. How can I use Python in my field? Uh, I'm not a mechanical engineer, but off the top of my head, all of these structural integrity, materials, all those kinds of things, I don't know if that's related to your field, tensile strength of materials, all that can be simulated using Python programming or programming languages. I'm sure you need have lots of differential equations to save or solve in the course, and that will be there. Someone asked if is Python named after a snake. Very good question. Python is actually named after this British comedy group called Monty Python, which was one of the favorite shows of the inventor. Okay, nice. So, okay, so I saw that people are asking about where can we access the recorded lecture. So before we move to the questions, let me just repeat from the beginning. So I think people joined late, so I'm just going to the beginning. Basically, these slides and recorded videos, slides will be available to you, as well as recorded videos of each session will be uploaded on YouTube. The links will be shared to you by the NPTEL team. Other than that, I have a website where I maintain all the links. So let me just show you. Okay, okay, 1 second, I can't find it. Yeah. So this is my website. I hope you can all see. So here you can see that recordings will be found in this YouTube playlist, slides of the sessions here. I have not uploaded the links yet since this is the very first class. Immediately after the class by tomorrow, I will be uploading the links. So just save this URL and just go to the page by tomorrow or something, and all the links will be made available to you. Okay. So I'm just sharing this again in the chat. I will I will give you the um yeah, you can check it by tomorrow. I'll also share this once again at the end of the class. And then this is my mail ID. As I said in the beginning, you can mail me about any concerns you have. You can also ask specific doubts to be discussed in the next class. So for example, in week 2, if you don't understand any concept and you want me to discuss that particularly in the class, please mail me. But don't mail me on Monday morning or something. Mail me like Thursday or something so that I can include it in my slides. Do not mail me asking me to solve your assignment questions. I will not solve your assignment questions for you. Okay, hope that is clear. Fine. So now we are going to do some questions. Okay, so the as I said, this is a live session. The whole point of this is that you guys will be interactive. The video lectures and assignments start, they have already started. Please go and check the course page, you can find them. So yeah, as I said, what was I saying? Yeah, so now we'll do some questions. This is an interactive thing, but please, Python has always been popular. Maybe you have heard of it in the recent classes. This is my first class, yes. Okay, so we're going to solve questions now. And I want you guys to put answers in the chat. I'm going to give you time to solve. I'm not just going to show you the answer. And I want it to be an interactive session. Okay. So let me just go here. So I'll be monitoring the chat. Please put your answers in the chat and let's try to solve these questions together. As I said, it will help you in your thing. Okay. Okay. So first, let's do some logic questions just to get you used to thinking about patterns and other things, because as you will see, identifying patterns is very important in programming. Okay, because that helps us a lot in programming. So please put your answer in the chat. Look carefully for the pattern. What do you think will come next? Okay, I can see a lot of people saying E. Okay, good, good, good. Everyone's active. So few people saying A, most people saying E. I'll give 1 more minute in case people are still answering. Okay. I think we can go to the answer. The answer is in fact E. Okay, very good to everyone who said E. People who didn't say E, just check here. Every number is repeated twice. So we know 11 has to be followed by 11. And every number has difference of 3 between them. So that's why 20, 17, 14, 11. Okay. Then 11, after 11 should be 8. Okay, great. Everyone got that. Most people got that. Few people got confused with A. So that is it. Great. This is the next question. The next question has been shown. I don't know if you're still answering the previous question. People say B. Okay, I can see a lot of people saying C. Okay, good. Okay, fine. I think everyone is saying C. I don't see any other option. Very good. The answer is actually C. So again, here the first letter follows in the alphabetical order S, T, U, V, W. The second letter is alphabetical order but skipping a letter. So C but not D, E but not F, G but not H, I but not J, K. The last letter is also by skipping a letter. So D, not E, F, not G, H, not I, J, not K, L. Okay. Is this clear to everyone? I think everyone got the answer correctly. Fine. I can see some question in between. I joined the course yesterday only. It takes time to watch week one. It's not a problem. The lectures are available to you. Just make sure you submit the assignments on time. Okay. So sometimes for the assignments, you need the lectures. So you need to maybe do a little more hard work for that. So just make sure you don't miss your assignment dates because that counts towards your exam and other things. Okay. Fine. Next question. Which word does not belong with the others? Okay. I can see a lot of people saying C, bud. C. Okay. Okay. I think we can go to the answer. I say majority people are saying C. Yes, the answer is actually C, but so if you want such more such questions, please visit this website India Bix. They have a lot of logic questions. You might think that what this has to do with Python, but actually, as I said, programming is also a lot about the language, the logic that comes behind it and all those other things. Okay. So please take care of that. Okay. Was the deadline of assignment one? Please, someone say this. I'm not sure about the deadline. Oh, how is it bud? Because the other three are names of flowers. Tulip is a flower, rose is a flower, daisy is a flower, bud is like a generic term which is not a flower. Okay. Okay, I think now everyone is saying the date of the assignments. Whoever are asked, apparently August 6th is the last date for submitting the assignment. So you still have some time. So please, after this session should help you with some of the doubts. We will not be solving the assignment questions, but something similar. You will get the links to all the recordings. I've already give the links. Okay, fine. So let's go to the next question. So this is more about programming. Which of the following best defines a variable in programming? There's an assignment every week. No, the week one assignment is on August 6th. Okay. Please put your answers in the chat. I can see lots of people saying B. Okay, good. So I think everyone is saying B. So a variable is nothing but a named storage location that can hold varying data during a program execution. So variables are important. Variable is what stores your number, your names, your data, whatever it is, so that you can use it later on in your program. Okay, so this is how variables are defined, and you will find out later how exactly variables will be used when you write your own programs. Okay, fine. Next question. Humans easily get bored doing a repetitive job. However, computers are masters of iteration. Iteration means when something is repeated over and over again. In programming, we get a control structure that allows a set of instructions to be executed repeatedly based on a condition. It enables automating repetitive tasks by iterating through a block of code until a specific condition is met or for a defined number of times. What is this control structure called? Okay, I can see everyone, a lot of people are saying C. Seems majority of people are saying C. So let's go to the answer. Oh, sorry. So the answer is a loop. As I said before, loops are very important because, as I said, humans cannot do repetitive tasks, but repetitive tasks are very easy for computers, right? Computer can write something from 1 to million in few seconds, whereas it might take us many minutes to do the same thing. So one of the big advantages of computers is that they can do these repetitive tasks, but for that you should give the instructions properly, and for that only you have to learn how to do programming. Okay, someone is saying that screen is stuck. Is it so for others or is it fine? Is there any internet issue or something? No, okay, fine. If it's fine, then maybe the issue is on your side. Cool. I registered for exam in this course, but shown as document verification. I am afraid if I can write the exam or not. So, as I said, I am an external person. I am here to solve the problems for you. I don't know about the logistics of exam and other things. I would suggest that you can write an email to the NPTEL team, or there is a discussion forum where you can discuss these kinds of doubts. Okay. So, please, you can bring it up with them. I hope that is fine with you. Screen is fine. Okay, great. Any other? I hope still now everything is good. Screen is not available, it is stuck. So we have asked, but I have asked others, but everyone says it's fine. It might be some internet issue on your side. Okay, so please check on your side if you have any issue. All right, let's go to next question. So as I said, programming logic is different from a programming language. Programming languages are many, but programming logic remains the same across all programming languages. Which of the following is a programming logic? So it seems like people are saying both A and D. Hmm. Okay, I can see D and A both are being said by thing. I'll give one more second for people to answer. Oh, some people are saying A and C. Interesting. Okay, I think majority of people are saying D. The answer is actually D. So again, remember, logic means how to solve a program, right? How to solve a problem. If I give you a problem statement that print number from 1 to 100, that is a problem, right? And the way I'm going to solve it is I'm going to say that let's put it in a loop, and you'll learn what a loop is shortly, so don't worry about it. But let's put it in a loop and tell the program to print. Now, if I have to write this and communicate to the computer, then I will use either Python, I'll use C or C++. These are all programming languages. So programming languages use programming logic, but the logic is the same for all programming languages. As I said, it's the same, right? There is a water, and water has different words. Water is water in English. It may be some other word in Hindi. It may be some other word in Tamil, maybe some other word in French, right? The fact that all of these things mean the same thing, which is water, means that the idea is the same. It's just the way that we communicate it is different. So that's exactly how programming logic and programming language you can understand. Is this fine for everybody? Exactly. Practically all are used to find the solution. You can use any of them. Approach is different, yet the meaning is the same. Exactly. So you might think that these are all silly things or small things, but it's important to understand these things so you have the spirit of programming when you start to do the things. Okay? Great. Okay. Cool. So, next question. Open source software, unlike proprietary software, is a computer software which is developed through the public collaborative efforts and made freely available to the public. Which of the following programming languages is or are open source? So, open source means that you don't have to pay for it and it is available and you can actually add to it. So, do you know which of these following programming languages are open source? Okay, I can see that many people are saying E, that is all of the above. Java, some people are saying only Java, some people are saying Python. Okay, I think we can move to the answer. I think the majority people said E. In fact, all of these programming languages are open source. You can download them for free. Python, for example, you don't need to pay anything to use Python. And in fact, one of the big advantages of Python that I didn't mention is the fact that Python has this thing called libraries, right? And many different people have developed different Python libraries over the years and they have contributed to Python. So a library is like a Python package which is developed for a particular purpose. So again, as I said, I am an astrophysicist. I come from an astrophysics background. So there is this package called AstroPy, and it has all the functions that you need in order to deal with astrophysical data. Like astrophysical data comes in special file formats which are not JPEG or PNG. They are called FITS format. So to read those files or to plot those files, you have these special commands which are there in astropy. So some astrophysicists have sit and written those codes. Apart from that, there is Python libraries for your machine learnings. There's, for example, scikit-learn is something that's used frequently in machine learning programs. There are Python programs for plotting. So if you want to draw a graph or sorry, something like that, there are Python packages. So one of the big advantages of Python is the fact that it's open source, which means it's free for anyone to download, to use, and also to contribute to, right? They can also develop it and they can contribute to it. If you have a Python, if you have written your own Python code and you feel like you can make it into a package, then you can also upload that and other people can use it. So that is a big advantage of using something like an open source software. Whereas something like, for example, Microsoft Windows, that's a proprietary software. You cannot just download Windows, right? You need to get it from a particular source. You cannot download it off the internet. So that's what a proprietary software is. Photoshop, for example, is a proprietary software. You cannot get it for free. Okay, great. Okay, fine. So this is about the pipe programming. Yeah, okay. I'm going to pretend like I didn't see the piracy in the chat. Anyway, next question. Knowing how to write a piece of code could help us get get things done fast. Choose areas where we can implement coding. Okay, so good. Everyone says E, all of the above. As I said, today's world is such that in every field that you pick, there is a way to include programming. As an astrophysicist, I use Python programming every day. In any of these fields, you can use programming, and all of your backgrounds, you can have programming done. Okay, so as I said, in today's class, we'll be doing more of assignments because someone had asked in between if we need laptop for the class. Definitely from the next class onwards you need to have a laptop because I will also be we'll also be doing programs together. So you need to have a laptop which can laptop or computer or some system where you can run Python so that I'll give you some time to solve a program on your own because as I said you have to write programs on your own. After that we can discuss the solution and discuss the logic together. The next session will be on Monday. So my classes are on Monday 6 to 8. These classes, as I said, are problem solving sessions. You have your lectures and assignments which are already provided for you, so you are expected to learn from that. These are for doubt clearing and for solving extra problems, so that if you have any difficulty you can discuss it here. Yeah, I have already shared the links for recording and other things. I will share it again towards the end of the class. You will also get the links. Okay, is that fine? I hope there are no more questions at this point. Okay, next question. Which of the following data types, which is a way to store data, is primarily used for storing a sequence of characters in most programming languages? Okay, I think most people are saying C. That's good. Yeah, I think everyone is saying C. So this is something called a string. A string is a group of characters. Again, if you've not heard of these terms, don't worry. You will be coming across it again and again when you do programs. But basically know that when I store data in a computer, depending on what kind of data it has special names. Integers are numbers, as you know from your mathematics. Float are numbers with decimal points. Strings are words, or as I said, sequence of characters, and boolean are numbers which are values which can be true or false. And again, you will be coming across these concepts again and again in your when you write your programs. Okay, next question. Which of the following statements best describes why loops are commonly used? Okay, people are saying B. Okay, fine. I think everyone got the answer. The answer is B. We have already discussed few times now how loops are really powerful in programming. Loops are one of the simple concepts that can be used in a variety of programming questions, as you will see starting from next week. Okay, next question. Suppose you have an arithmetic expression which involves addition, subtraction, multiplication, and exponentiation. Okay, which means raising to a power. Which statement is true about instructing a computer to evaluate it? So, few options are given to you. Please select the one you feel is correct. Yes, okay, fine. Everyone is saying C. C is correct. So these expressions can be evaluated using built-in operations or libraries. So this is exactly what I've been also I was saying before. One of the big advantages or flexibility that Python gives you is Python has a lot of inbuilt libraries. As I said, there is AstroPy, which is an astrophysics library, Matplotlib, which is used for plotting. There are libraries for dealing with large amount of data like pandas or NumPy. There's a lot of different libraries. This course is structured in such a way that you will be coming across a lot of these libraries, and you will see how specific use cases have been built over the years by various groups of people. And that's really what gives Python so much of its flexibility. Okay, great. So now we'll move to, I hope that you guys looked at the week one lecture. So there was this thing called Scratch, right? Scratch is basically for you, it's not a programming language per se. It's for you to explore how to think about programming language. So which blocks can be used to move the cat in Scratch? Here, there could be multiple options which are correct, or single option also. So you can give. Okay, so many of you are already answered. You have said B. Okay, B, C, A. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's move to the answer, maybe. So the answer is actually B and D. Okay, so if you go to Scratch, again, Scratch is a website that you can use to just look at logic. Okay, it's more for the logic. So in that case, you can see that these are the options which will be available to you to move a cat, for example, in Scratch. The recording of this session, the link has already, I have shared it with you where the link will be available. I will share again at the end of the class. The NPTEL team will also be sharing the links with you. So don't worry. Okay, don't worry. I am taking the course and making the slides for you only. I won't leave without giving you the slides. Okay. Why move and glide? Because those are the options which are available in Scratch. You can go to Scratch and you can try playing around with this and see how this works. Okay. Yeah, please go to Scratch and see what are the options which are available. That will make this clear to you. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so there are four options here. Which set of blocks moves the cat 40 steps and then points down? Okay, I can see immediately people are saying B. You're right, C and D's do seem the same. I think I made a mistake. Okay, that's fine. I don't understand the question. The question is that in Scratch, if you've tried using Scratch, there are some options, right? So, which is the set of blocks in Scratch if I want the cat to move 40 step and then point downwards? Scratch is like a website, right? I think it has been discussed in your lectures how to access Scratch, and you can check it. Week 1 session, exactly. There are week 1 sessions which are related to Scratch in the course. Please go and watch it. Okay, so shall we move to the answer? I think majority of people said B. The answer is actually B. So it here it goes 40 steps. So that's move 40, and then 180 makes it point downwards where you're doing a full rotation. Okay, that is the answer. Okay. Okay. Just you can try what you can do is if you have any doubts in this, you can take the Scratch interface. Try giving each of these options. For some reason, C and D are the same option. I don't know if I made a mistake. I'll just check that before I upload the slides. But just put these options and check which is actually moving the cat. In fact, we can check it now if you want. Let's try to check it now. So, 1 second. So let's try using Scratch, right? And then we can see. So this is where Scratch is. I've just taken it in my, oh, okay. Doesn't work in this browser. Let me try on Safari. Okay. So for example, here is the cat, right? This is the cat. So suppose I give move 10. Move, what was it? We want the cat to move 40 step and then point down. So let's try doing that. So let's make this move 40 steps and point in direction 180. So let's find that. So you can see that when I give 180 only, it moves completely down, right? That's only what I wanted to do. So now let's try running this. I forgot how to run this. So you can see that it moves down, right? So that's the point. So if I just reset it, I don't know how to, I don't know how to reset this. I forgot. Yeah, okay, fine. So if I press this, it keeps moving. So is that fine for everyone? Now you saw how Scratch works. B is correct as pointing down. No, it's not compulsory to attend these sessions. You can watch the recordings and see the video in your own time. Yeah, you can write to support at NPTEL if you have any issues regarding the exam. As I said, I am an external person. I don't use this. Scratch is basically a website where you can put some simple instructions so that you can play around with programming logic. In a real Python program, you can't just drag things and write move, but this is just so you get idea of programming logic and get used to loops and other things, so that when you come to Python, the logic is easy. This is just for understanding logic. Remember that logic and programming language are two different things, right? So there are many examples in your week 1 lectures. So please go and you can play around with Scratch as much as you saw. You saw that I was able to instantly do it, right? So that is the idea. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next question now. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so this is the Scratch code. Okay, let's call it a code, even though it's not really a code. This is the Scratch blocks. What happens when I run this code? So read the question carefully. This is a, you can take a little more time for this. This is a little more involved than the other question. Okay, so check carefully what's happening in this case. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry if I am going too fast. I will try to go a little slower, but in any case, you will also get the video. Okay, great. Okay, I see a lot of answers B, C, A. What is the majority answer? Okay, now people seem to be saying no. People are confused between C and D, I think. Oh, so one person has also said B. So I think all the answers are there now. Looks like C and D are both. Okay, I don't see a majority. Majority seems to be D at the moment. I'll give one more minute in case people are still answering. Think about it carefully if you want. So one thing that really helps me with programs is if I write it down also. So try writing it down. What's exactly happening? How many times will this program run? By the way, this is your very first loop. When you say repeat of 7, right? That's basically a loop. We just haven't written it in a Python code, but this logic is what applies to every loop. So if any of you have not done loops before, this is basically your very first loop. Okay, now I can see that B is also being said. So let's go to the answer maybe, and then you guys can check if you are correct or wrong. The answer is actually C. Can anyone explain why it's not D? Can anyone explain the logic of the answer being C? Because the loop is 7 times. Exactly. Not going up to 0. Exactly. So let me just explain what happens. So you have this variable. Variable is basically anything that stores a value, right? So I'm storing the value of 7 in this variable called my num. then 7 times I am going to repeat this three process, right? We have given this, and this is basically what a loop is. A loop is any time when I repeat a process again and again. It can be for a fixed number of times. You can see later that loops can also be based on a condition. Sometimes you will say do this loop until this condition is true. That is also another possibility. So here we have told them do this loop 7 times. Okay, so in the first time, let's count together. First time, what's the value of my num? My num is 7. So the cat will say my num for 1 second. It will say 7 for 1 second, and then it will wait for 1 second. Then my num is going to be set to my num minus 1, which is 6, right? So now first time is over. Next time it will say 6. Then it will reduce to 5. Then it will go to the next time. Next time it's going to say 5. Then it will reduce to 4. Goes back. Next time it will say 4, reduces to 3, goes back. Next time it will say 3, reduce to 2, goes back. Next time it will say 2, reduce to 1, goes back. Next time it will say 1, the value will reduce to 0, but it will not say it because again it's not going to go back in the loop. So the last time it says 1. Is this clear to everyone? As I said, if you count it or if you write it down, it becomes very clear. Does anyone have any question about this? Okay, I think this is clear, quite easy, but again, this is the main idea behind any loop. So please do this. Okay, yes, cool. Okay, some people are saying no. Basically, if you still find it difficult, take a pen and paper and try writing this process down. Okay, write 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, which is that 7 times this process has to repeat. In the first time, what does the cat say? The cat says 7. The second time, because the value is reduced, the cat says 6. Third time, the value is reduced again, cat says 5. Fourth time, value is reduced again, cat says 7, 6, 5, 4. Fifth time, value is reduced again, cat says 3. Sixth time, value is reduced again, cat says 2. And seventh time, cat's value is reduced again, cat says 1. It only repeats for 7 times. So the cat will only say up till 1. It does not say 0. Is this understood? I hope it is understood. If you still don't understand, it's kind of simple only. Try doing it yourself. You can even try putting this in scratch and see what happens if you want to understand. Okay, fantastic. Let's go to the next question. Okay, I think I gave away this answer by mistake. Oh no. So this everyone should get correctly because I just explained what happens. From the previous question, what is the value of my num when the loop ends? Be careful about this. I can see a lot of people saying A and D. Be careful about it. What is the value of my num variable after the loop ends? After it ends. Okay, people seem to be saying A and D. I'll give one more minute. Please think about it carefully. I actually just gave the answer when I explained it. Think about it carefully and say. Okay, I see that A and D are kind of on similar thing, and very few people are also saying C. People who are saying C, I think you didn't read the question or you didn't listen to me previously. C is not the answer. That much I will say. So decide between A and D. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's move to the answer. And I think A and D are like 50-50 in the chat. So half of you are correct, half of you are wrong. The answer is actually D. Exactly. So someone has put it in the chat. So in the last iteration of the loop, the cat says 1 and then 1 becomes 1 minus 1 0. It just doesn't say it again, but the value actually still gets reduced to 0. So after the loop ends, the value is actually 0. It is not 1. Is this clear to everybody? Yeah, so in these situations, it's very good for you that you can sit and write these things. So, not only for Scratch or whatever, for any programming logic, the best thing to do is have a pen and paper. Even though you're doing it on a computer, you think that you don't need pen and paper, but actually write down variable, write down what's coming on the screen, and that will help you a lot in programming. Great, everyone understood. Fantastic. Let's go to the next question. Let the answer for the previous question, so remember the answer is previous for the previous question, is stored in variable x. Then what does the cat say after execution of this loop? So now we have a new loop. The value of x1 and x2 is given to you. The value of x is the answer of the previous question. Okay. So now please check this and tell what should be the answer of this. What will the cat be saying at the end of this? Okay, a lot of people are saying B, B and D also. I can see one person saying D. Try to do it carefully. I'll give you one more minute. If anyone is still solving. So remember, there's a loop also here. Okay, and now I can see some A's as well. What is the value for x and y set to? That's only what you have to figure out to solve this. X is set to the value of the previous question. Okay, so let's go to the answer. I think majority of people said B. The answer is actually B. So if anyone didn't understand, let's go through it carefully. Okay. So at the beginning of the loop, what is the value of x1? x1 is 0 and x2 is 1, and x is set to 0 as well because the previous question's answer was 0. Correct? The previous question's answer was 0. Please pay attention. Okay. So now, how many times will the loop be repeated? How many times will the loop be repeated in this case? Anyone? 3 times exactly, because 4 minus 0 plus 1 is 3. Okay. So 3 times the loop is going to be repeated. Not 5 times, it's 3 times. Don't forget elementary maths, guys. This is not programming, this is maths. So let's count each iteration. Okay. The first time, so loop has to run 3 times. Okay. So now the first time, what is going to be the value of y? Anyone? Value of y is 1. Very good. What will be the value of x1? X1 will also become 1 because we are going to set x1 to value of x2. What is going to be value of x2? X2 is also 1. So at the end of the first loop, y is 1, x1 is 1, x2 is also 1. Is that fine with everybody? Great. Now we are going to run for the second time. Okay, remember we have to run this 3 times. Second time, what's going to be the value of y? The loop won't run 5 times. The loop is only going to run 3 times. Okay, maybe I'll write this down if this is easier for people. I hope you guys know how to do addition subtraction, because this is just addition subtraction. Okay, so loop 1 we just discussed, or like let's say iteration 1, y is equal to 1. End of iteration 1, y is equal to 1, x1 is equal to 1, x2 is equal to 1. Now let's talk about end of iteration 2. After running it for the second time, what does y become? Anyone? Yes, y becomes 2. What does x1 become? Very good. X1 is still 1 because x1 is set to the value of x2. What does x2 become? X2 becomes 2 because x2 is set to the value of y. Now, end of iteration 3, what happens? What does y become? Exactly. X1 into x1 is 1 into 1, 1, plus x2 into x2 is 2 into 2, 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. What does x1 become? X1 becomes 2 because x1 is set to the value of x2. And x2 becomes x2 becomes 5. Finally, what is the cat saying? Which value is the cat saying? X2. So we just have to check at the end of 3 times what is the value of x2. The value of x2 is 5 and that's why the answer is 5. Does anyone have any questions? This is very simple, right? So that's why you should always write things down, then it becomes very careful, very easy. Okay? When you write things down, it becomes very easy. If anyone has any difficulty, please try writing this down. This is not that difficult. Okay, some people are not understanding. I'll quickly explain it once more, but then I have to do the other questions, okay? Do you understand why the loop will run 3 times? Because x is 0. Okay? So loop has to run 3 times. So let's check what happens at the end of each loop. Okay? X is 0. X is the value of the previous question. Okay, the previous, that's why you should pay attention to the sessions because they might ask you to use the value of the previous answer in this question. So in the previous answer, we found that x is 0. Sorry. The previous question, the answer was 0. Okay, so that's why we are using that. So I will just write that here. Okay. Now before it starts, we know the value of x1 is 0, x2 is 1. Now y is equal to x1 into x1 plus x2 into x2. So just do that calculation. You will find that at the end of the first loop, x1 into x1 is 1, x2 into x2 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1. x1 is set to whatever value of x2, x2 is 1. x2 is set to whatever is the value of y, and we just calculated that y is 1. Like that, you do this 3 times, you do this process. At the end of the third process, whatever is the value of x2 is what the cat is going to say. And if you do this process properly, you will find that the value of x2 at the end of this entire process is 5. Is this clear to you now? If variable is created and value is not given by default, it is 0. Okay, I am not very familiar with Scratch. In Scratch, this may be the case, but in general, in a programming language, if you don't give a value to a variable, it might not have a, it's not necessary it will go to 0. Okay, so you always have to make sure. It's very important that when you create a variable, you keep track of what value you give it. A lot of problems can come from this. You might assign x to some value, then in the program later you might use x in some other place as well. If you use the same x in two different places, then problem will happen, right? So you should always be careful about the variable names that you use. Okay, I think this is clear to everyone. I'm going to the next question now. Okay, so this is also I'll give you some time. In which of the following code blocks the calculation of the squared distance? If you don't know what squared distance is, it's basically from your Pythagoras theorem, right? X square plus y square equals z square. What is the calculation of the squared distance between 2 points? 15 comma 25, so that's the x and y coordinates, and 20 comma 19 is accomplished. So please check which of these following blocks gives you the correct squared distance between these 2 points. Any answers in the chat? Okay, I can see two people answering B and A. Any others? Check very carefully between these cases. Okay, now I can see that most people are saying A. A seems to be the majority answer. Okay, someone is saying B. Give you one more minute. Okay, I think we can go to the answer. I think majority of people are saying A. A is actually the answer. So if you notice carefully in all the options, the distance formula is the same. It's right. It's x2 minus x1 into x2 minus x1. Nothing but x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 sorry, into y2 minus y1, which is y2 minus y1 the whole square. So the distance formula is the same. You have to be careful about how you're defining your x and y coordinates. So if you know a little bit of geometry, which I hope you all do, this is from school, then you know that the first coordinate is x and the second coordinate is y, right? So in the first case, this is your x coordinate, this is your y coordinate. So my x1 will be 15, my y1 will be 25. In the second case, this is my x coordinate, this is my y coordinate, my x2 is going to be 20, my y2 is going to be 19. So that is why you can check all the other options. This x1, x2, y1, y2 will have been given wrongly. That's why the other options are wrong. Is this clear for everybody? Any doubts in this? Is this clear for everyone? Okay, great. Very good. Next question. What task does the block below accomplish? So this is the this is the block of scratch. Okay, and moves the ball whether okay, sorry. Someone is writing some big question. Okay, I see your question. You can stop copy pasting it. Can anyone please tell how and where to write assignments and how to submit them? So if you have you enrolled in the course, if you have enrolled in the course, there is a web. I'll just show you now, maybe. Just give me a second. So I hope you have enrolled in the course. If you've enrolled in the course, you should see a page like this. If you see a page like this, you can see this is week 1, right? So week 1 has all these lectures. which you guys should have watched by now. As I said, this session is just for solving problems related to week 1 lectures. So I will not be reteaching you week 1. Okay? So every week you can watch the lectures, you can attend this to understand how to solve problems. I'll give you some extra information if it's needed. And again, if you have some doubts, you can ask me. So this is a week 1 lectures. Here you can see scratch animations are there. So those of you who are saying what is scratch, you can look at it here. Now if I go here, you can see quiz week 1 assignment 1. You can see that assignment 1 is due on 6th August 2025, and you have some questions here. You have to select the option which is correct and you have to submit it. Okay, so there are some 30 questions are there, so you may submit it before the due date. Is this clear for everybody? If you are enrolling in the course, the bare minimum you have to do is go to the course page and check what is there in the course page. Simply sitting for a course does not help, right? Please go and check. Instead of sending this message 20 times, you could have just gone to the course page and checked once. Okay? Fine. I hope the person who asked it, it's clear for them. I think you do get the assignment score after submitting it. I'm not very sure about it because I have not done it myself, but it should be there. Are you asking again to write the for the question? I don't understand. I've just explained how to do it. Okay, great. So now let's go back to this question. So the question is, there is a block here which does something. So what does this block do? Again, read the question carefully and you can take some time, solve it. I will tell you about details of next class, recording and other things at the end of the class. For now, please focus on solving the problems and please answer the questions, okay? Please don't get caught up in all this logistics of how to do assignment, how to do this. I'm trying to teach you the course, right? Please listen to it properly. I'll give you time at the end for any other doubts you have. Okay, I can see some people are answering. That's very good. A, C, and D are there. I just now said I will talk about the recording and other details at the end of the class. Please focus on solving the problem now. Okay, I can see all of the options in the chat actually. A, B, C, and D. I don't see a clear majority yet. Please check carefully. Okay, so seems like people are now going towards C. No, no, no. There is still B. Okay, I'll just tell you guys it's not B. Okay, it's not a circular path. It's a parabolic path, but in what sense is it a parabola? Just check. A and C. It's not a multiple. It can't be multiple answers. It's only one. It's not B. Okay, maybe we can go to the answer. I think you guys are now shuffling between A and C or A, C, and D. It's not B. I told you it's not B. So the answer is actually A. Okay. Let's try to do this in Scratch so that it's easier to understand. So Okay. So how to remove this? Delete block. Delete block. Let's hmm. Let's keep it as cat itself. Okay. And okay. So set x to 0, y to 0. Let's do that. Okay, fine. I'm almost done. So let's do this so that it's clear to everybody. Where is the setting to 0? Nah, here. Okay. 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 We are setting x and y to 0. We are going to repeat it, right? 18 times we are going to repeat. Wait 1 second. Set x to x. Why is it not? X to x, right? Sorry. And where was it? Set where is it? Where is it? Y to y, and then change x by 1 and set y to some expression. So let's put the expression here. What is the expression? Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. Let me just, okay. 0 minus, okay, this is complicated. Fine, no problem. I hope you guys are gaining something from this. Okay, x into x, right? Oh, okay. 1 second. So it should have been this. This should be in the first one. Oh, God. Okay. No problem. I'll just, okay. Uh, okay, this isn't working. I don't know why. That's annoying. Okay. Let's just put this, let's just write that again. Uh, okay. So 0, and here I have to put this here, right? X into hmm, plus 1 second, guys. This is almost done. 17 into. Okay, fine. So first of all, we know this is a parabola, right? Minus x square plus 17x is a parabola. And we have to repeat it 18 times. And every time you are going to trace out an extra thing. So we are basically going to be tracing out a parabola. But if you want to really see how it's going to happen, let's see. So let's just remove this. And so you can see how the cat is moving now. It's moving in a parabolic path, right? X is changing by some value, and you can see that y is also changing. So it is basically went up and came down. So that's a parabolic path. and it stops when x is 17, right? And y is 0. So that's exactly what it moves. Oh, so it should be 17, not 18, right? Wait. Huh. Seems to be 17. Did I do something wrong? So yeah, so that's good that we checked. The answer seems to be 17. Oh, my code is wrong? Okay, okay, wait. What did I do? Oh, okay, 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 okay. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Let's run it again. Thanks. Okay, let's run it again. Then maybe that's why. Okay, let's yeah, 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 got it, got it. Thank you for showing me the error. So now it's coming back. Okay. So that's the answer, I guess. So I think it should be 17 away, not 18 away. Maybe. Maybe I made a mistake. So anyway, this is just to show you how to use Scratch. Okay? Is that fine for everyone? So now you saw how to use Scratch as well. Okay, next question. Oh, okay. We're done with the questions now. So, yeah. So before we end the class, so I've discussed all the questions I wanted to. As I said, today is an introductory class, so there was only this kind of questions where it was just solving some MCQs. But from the next class onwards, we'll be starting actual Python programming. So please join the class with a system or a computer, laptop, something that can run Python programs, because like today I'll give you some time to try to do the program on your own. As I said, programming is something where you can't learn unless you do it yourself. Okay, so please try to do it on your own, and then we can see what to do. Okay, so please try to join the next time. Yes, you can make animations with Python. There are specific libraries for that, but one thing at a time. Anyway, so please try to join next from next week onwards. Please join with Python and other things installed. And if you want to know how to do that, please watch your week 2 lectures. Okay. So this week, as I said, the purpose of these classes is not for me to teach you the lectures. There's already professor for that, right? So please watch the recorded lectures. If you find anything difficult in the recorded lectures and you want to discuss that further, please mail me, and I can discuss that topic specifically for you in the class, and it may be benefiting others as well. Okay, so that's just about the thing. Yes, you can use VS Code. You can use whatever ID you're comfortable with. I use VS Code. So we have classes. So okay, now let me just finish the class, and then I'll come to all the logistic stuff. Okay. So before we end, since many of you are starting programming for the first time, please have some good coding practices. Okay, so one thing is that writing code is one thing, but writing good code is a skill. Okay, your code should not just be written as you want, but you should write in such a way that tomorrow if you give this code to someone else, it's very clear. Okay, so don't just give some random what is it called, variable names. Use meaningful variable names, function names. Use comments. So I'll show you when we start programming properly, I'll show you how to write comments. It's very important that you write comments and document it. Not only if you are giving your code to someone else, but even for yourself, right? You might write a code and you think you understand it perfectly today, but 6 months from now you'll open that code, you won't remember what is x1, x2, x3, x4. It's better give some variable names that make sense, or at least write some comments. That comments are basically, I'll show you how it is, just some sentences that don't affect the code, that just to explain what the code is doing. This will help you only, because 1 year from now if you open your Python program, you will be not lost as to what it is doing. As I said, in Python it's very important to use indentation, which means proper spacing everywhere. Okay, and that means that don't just write things just like that. You have to have proper number of spaces and spacing everywhere. And finally, documentation is there, which is Basically this is more for as you get more and more advanced, and if you work on projects with other people, you have to create files to explain what your program is doing, like a readme file which explains what exactly your program is doing, what are the variables, what are the other things. Okay. Okay, fine. Then, finally, coding is a journey of up and downs. You'll find that through coding, you have to go through a lot of things. But again, you will not learn coding unless you go through it yourself. Now, coming back to the main thing, um, okay, you guys keep asking, so I'll just explain all this once. Please listen carefully. We have classes every week on Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. These are going to be problem solving sessions where I will solve some problems which are related to your assignment but not exactly your assignment questions. Your assignment questions are expected to be solved on your own. Number one. Number two is from the next class onwards, please bring a laptop with Python so that you can solve programs during the class, because that's very important. Okay, I told you programming is like riding a cycle. You cannot learn to ride a cycle by watching someone else ride a cycle. You can only learn to ride a cycle if you ride the cycle yourself. So make sure you have your laptop. I'll give you time, like today how we had time to solve the problems and discuss. Next week onwards, I'll give you time to solve, write programs, or at least get the logic, and then we can discuss about it. Finally, all the slides, all the programs we discuss, everything will be made available to you. The links will be made available to you. And these videos are going to be recorded and uploaded on my YouTube channel. Okay. For the links to that, the NPTEL team will contact you. But even other than that, I have my website where I maintain the links. Okay, so I'm just going to share that website link with you again. Let me just share it with you again. So right now the links are not there. Please don't go and check immediately after the class. It's the very first class, so I didn't have time to check, write down the links or anything. Check by later tonight or by tomorrow morning. All the links will be uploaded on the website. Just save or bookmark this website. All the links will be made available to you there. Other than that, the NPTEL team will contact you with the links anyway. But this is just for my reference. I keep this links active. Okay, and this is my web email id. If you have any particular, sorry, here, if you have any particular questions, if you find something particularly difficult in the course after watching the lectures and you want that to be explained, please write to me and I will try to include it in the next week's lecture. So please, you can show, you can come write to me by Thursday or something. If you write by Thursday, then in the next Monday's class I can give you the answer. Okay, fine. So all the links are available to you. Today, right now, it's not available because it's the very first class. But right after this class, I am going to upload the video, upload the slides. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. And yeah, please don't worry about the links and other things. We will not go leave you without giving you the links. Okay. I'm doing these 2 hour sessions for you guys only. Okay, fine. So I think if there's no other questions, yeah, I also like the comics. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we can end the class for today. So we'll see you next week. See you on Monday next week at the same time. And in the meantime, please enjoy coding and enjoy doing this. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice rest of your week, and I'll see you next week.